Hello and welcome. This is Richard from SONAX and we are doing today a course how to polish a car for beginners. And with me my colleague Christian.
Hi, my name is Christian Resch. I'm the International Master Trainer and the Key Account Manager for the SONAX Detailing Academy. And today we talk about the basics of polishing. And Richard will explain you about the chemistry.
And Christian will do the hands-on and you will see his technique. How to hold the machines and which type of polish, which combination polish pad he's using, because these are important things to know and to understand.
But first of all, you need to know what is a polish.
Yeah, we have a rough plan about the topics we're speaking. We explain terms. What is a polish? We explain how does it work, go into the chemistry, ingredients, and then we are doing it hands-on, measuring gloss units and how the result evolves during polishing time. Yeah, we do 2 polishing steps, a basic for removing the scratches and a second step for finishing purposes.
So I think first of all important is to know what is a polish and how does a polish work. So these are the most important questions for now. So Richard, what is a polish?
A common understanding of a polish is something which creates gloss, but this is just half of the answer. The result is of course something is glossy and shiny, but a polish is more or less something which creates a flat surface. That is the purpose and the basic of a polish, to create a surface which is uneven at the beginning, and you flatten it, and because of the flattening it reflects more light, it creates gloss, and that's what the people want to have at the end, gloss and shiny.
Because the surface itself actually is not very even, not like a mirror. So a paint is very uneven, right? So if you have a scratch appears like a deep gap in the paint surface. So when we flat down the paint, the light reflections, they come more even and it gets more glossy.
Yeah, and if you want to flatten something, to level a surface, you need some special ingredients. And here we are. A polish contains abrasive material, which are hard particles inside, and these hard particles, they cut the surface. That's the basic principle, cutting material, and during this process the abrasive grains break down even further. So we speak of DAT,
right?
Christian?
DAT, diminishing abrasive technology. So means the particles we use aluminum oxides, right?
Yes, yes.
So these are very fine, nano-size fine particles, and we have not a single particle, we have many particles, they stick together, called agglomerate.
Agglomerates.
Agglomerates, yes. Right. So the agglomerate is a big piece made by a lot of small pieces. So imagine a sugar cube. A sugar cube, it's a big piece of sugar made by a lot of fine particles of sugar. So during the polishing, it breaks down.
It breaks down.
Right.
It breaks down.
So the big particle have the cutting properties. So with the big particle made by a lot of small particles, you have a lot of cutting effect. And during the polishing, it breaks down. It gets finer and finer. So from the cut to the gloss, all in one by the DAT technology.
Yeah, and you see the basic and the key know-how is in how to construct this abrasive material. There are basic powders, basic materials available on the market, which everybody can buy. So this is low budget chemistry, but we are using high sophisticated alumina, and this means the breaking down is even until the end, it's going further. So this means you end up with an extremely high gloss with the perfect finish, for example.
So the DAT have a lot of advantages, but you need to know how to use it on the right way.
The parameters to grind down the materials are time, are pressure, and at the end it's the pad.
Right.
Yeah.
Machine technique is very important, speed, pressure. So the technique is important to get at the end the perfect result out of the compound.
So this was point 2, how does it work? And now we come to the terms gloss and how to measure gloss. As I told, gloss is something your eyes see, and it's at the end it's the amount of reflected light. The more light a surface reflects, the more glossy it appears. And on this Mercedes, for example, which is quite dull, a low amount of light is reflected. So when we measure it, we have low gloss units.
Right. So a scratch is visible for us because of a lot of different directions of light reflection, right? In this case, we have a lot of finer scratches, and they appear or they are visible for us because the light reflections goes in different directions. So, and I think we should measure it now.
Yeah, yeah.
We have here a black Mercedes German car, quite hard paint, and yeah, let's see how is the gloss and the haze.
That device is called the gloss meter, and it measures exactly. It has a light source inside, and the light source, the light beam, is reflected and measured by a sensor, and that's what we're doing now. We are measuring gloss units. So let's have a look. We have here 76, 71. We do a few spots. Yeah, on that side here. Here it is more dull.
Yeah.
We have 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the average is around 60.
Yeah. So the average here, I do it once again here. 65. 68. So the average is around
65.
66. So
66. Okay.
all right. So that's the gloss haze at the beginning is 66. 66 gloss units. GU. So, and
then we measure the haze.
The haze, which is the amount of stray light. Yeah.
So when we talk about haze appears as a dull
45.
Surface.
45 in haze.
45
so
in
this
haze.
means the higher the gloss and the lower the haze. That's our goal. Yeah? Reducing the grayness to get a clear picture and improving the gloss at the highest.
Yeah. This is our target, and we also want to talk about the ingredients, of course. What is the main ingredient of a polish, and what is the chemistry behind a polish?
Yeah, one thing we talked about are the abrasives.
Right.
Abrasive material. Abrasive is the key, but all the other components are also very necessary because they determine how the polishing process is going. Imagine you are polishing, you create heat, the surface gets warm, it gets dry, it runs dry, and at the end a lot of dust appears.
Right.
So what is the perfect polish in your opinion?
A perfect polish, of course, would be a polish which doesn't dry, which creates almost no dust, which is easy in use, easy to wipe off. And I think this is what we have. First of all, LD technology. When we talk about LD, means low dust technology. It's founded by SONAX. So what is behind this chemistry?
Low dust is something which comes from the emulsion technology. We have a polish is an emulsion. It's something which is it's a blend, a mixture of water. So the polishes are all water-based in general, and they are blended with petrol, with oil, to make the surface wet, that it does not dry, that it does not dust. So it's all about the emulsion technology, and we have a lot of know-how in this technology. And at the end, during the whole polishing time, and this is a couple of minutes, the polish does not dry out.
That's a big advantage, especially, you know, when we talk about cutting compounds. All the abrasives, you know, they come out and you create a lot of dust. So back to the old days, after the first step, after the cutting, you had, in the worst case, you had to wash the car after the first step. So it helps a lot in reducing time. You know, you need much less time. It's a cleaner polishing, so saves time, and time is money.
So emulsion is also extremely important. And the next thing is there should be, especially for the professionals, there should be no any silicones inside. Because when you're polishing in the environment of paint shops, silicones are really bad materials. So silicone free is one of the requirements, and the other thing is
no fillers.
No fillers, right? No fillers. Recently, there was some kind of misunderstanding on the internet. Some guys spoke about SONAX polishes contains fillers, but this was a misunderstanding because they found it somewhere in a data sheet, and it was a misunderstanding of the term filler, because we are using fillers in terms of stabilizing the emulsion. Very fine ceramic particles which build and strengthen the emulsion. So this has nothing to do with fillers in terms of hiding or cheating.
Covering up the scratches, right. So this is a very important point, you know, water-based, low dust technology, no fillers, no silicone. So this make a perfect polish out. And yeah, I think ingredients, what else? Do we have some technologies what may others don't have? When we talk about perfect finish?
I would say we have talked a lot. Let's go on hands on it.
Okay.
And do it in the meantime.
Good point.
Yeah?
Let's
so,
do this.
Christian, get to work.
Get to work. Okay, let's get to work. Let's do a test spot.
So Christian is taping an area, and then we are doing, usually you do polishing in 2 steps. In some cases it's possible to do it in 1 step, depending on the condition of the car, but this is a really heavily scratched car, so we have to do 2 polishing steps, right?
Yeah, absolutely. On a black car it's very essential to have 2 steps. It depends, of course, but in some cases we can fix it in a 1 step. Depends, of course, on the condition of the paint and the depthness of the scratches. But in this case, to make a perfect result out of this, we have to make a 2-step.
This is our polishing pad hard.
Right. Polishing pad hard is a hard foam pad, and this is what we recommend for a two-step system. Red for the cutting and the green one for the finishing. Of course, sometimes we have deep scratches where we need a bit more cut. In this case, we can also go one level on top.
I got a better idea. We do it with a lamb's wool. Let's do it with a lamb's wool.
Then go for the fast solution.
Yeah, yeah.
You go with the wool pad.
Yeah. That's also a kind of misunderstanding of some people because the material looks so soft. But in fact, that's one of the most aggressive pads you can use.
Absolutely. So this is natural wool, right?
Natural wool.
Natural wool. Have a lot of cutting effect. Of course, it creates also a bit more haze and a bit more holograms. But in terms of cutting, if you have really heavy scratched paint, then it also saves a lot of time at the end. And especially in the combination with a rotary.
And that's the polish for that?
I have to prime the pad a little bit. And then low speed at the beginning, very important. So we just distribute the product first to have the same amount of abrasives all over this area, and then we start to polish. A little bit more pressure and a low speed.
And that's the reason why you should use it at low speed, because at the moment just the big particles are working, getting the cut. If you would use it at too high revolutions, the material grinds down too fast, you're losing cut. So use the machine at lowest RPM.
And here you can see the advantage of a low dust technology. We have almost no dust, yeah? And
even with the wool.
Even with the wool. Even with the wool. And this is a big advantage, makes the life much easier. So this was the first step. Low speed, a bit more pressure. Then in the second step, we speed up and then we release the pressure, just to break down the particles. Always guide the machine in overlapping moves, in a crisscross guiding.
Take your time. When polishing, don't get in a hurry. Take your time. Don't press too hard. It's just the materials, the polish which is working. It's not the power, with how much energy you press the machine. Let the polish do its work.
Of course, always take care of the heat. Yeah? Don't overheat the paint. So a temperature 40 to 50 degrees you can handle. Over 50 degrees you must be careful, especially in the case of a soft paint. Here we have a hard paint, very strong paint. But even here, be careful with the heat, always check the heat. If you focus on one spot and it gets too hot, just leave this spot and move on another spot.
And how to know where you are? 50 degrees is a point where you feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
When you feel, oh, that's hot. Then you reached 50 degrees.
Yeah. At the beginning, you can also play around with a thermometer, to get a bit experience. But after a while, you will feel it with your backhand. Yeah. Okay, I have to stop here and have to move on to another spot.
Yeah. Temperature is relevant on those materials, on the bumpers, which are made of plastic material.
Right.
They don't stand the heat. A metal can distribute the heat, but you get problems on the bumpers and plastic parts.
But even here, be careful, don't overheat. It's easy to burn the paint if you don't know how you handle it and how to polish, because here we work with a rotary machine. Rotary, you need a bit more skills, of course. It's the most powerful tool in the detailing business, but yeah, nowadays DA, most of the people, they are used to DA. It's much easier in handling and doesn't create much heat. So, but especially with the rotary for cutting, be careful with the heat and the guiding, of course. In the tilter machine, you create a lot of holograms, but sometimes it's needed. If you have a deep scratch and you want to accelerate the cutting process, we go on the edge, and then yeah, we have a very quick solution to removing deep scratches. But in the second step, you always have to run the machine
But that's something for experienced users. At the moment, we are speaking about beginners and the basics, right?
Right. Okay. I think the first step, it's almost done. One more pass, and then it's good enough. So, first step is done. You take one microfiber here, and then we wipe off the residues. Oh yeah.
Well, looks pretty good.
Looks already.
Yeah, all the deep scratches are gone. Shine is also quite good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Let's measure it.
Oh, we have 80,
Ooh.
over 80, 83, 83. So in average, we have 83. That's good.
We come from
good.
66.
We come
So
from 66.
we increased the gloss already just by the cutting.
83 GUs and 22 Haze.
Ooh.
So 22 Haze. Yeah, you see it.
You see it already, yeah.
Really dark.
But we talk about a combination with a cutting compound and a wool pad. Yeah, this is one of the most aggressive combination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would have a silver car or just a red-blue car, it would be possible for a one-step.
Possible, definitely.
Yeah.
Even on a white car or silver car, yeah.
But this is yeah, a black car is always the most difficult thing to polish. So that's why we chose a black car.
King discipline.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then we do the second step.
Second step.
Yes, by the green pad and a finish compound.
Foam pad medium. And perfect finish.
Okay. Here also, it's a new pad, so we need to prime the
use
pad.
just little, just little. Yep.
Thank you. So same process, low speed. Distribute the product first. Like this. So then you make sure that the amount of abrasive is distributed, and then we start with the low speed and a little bit more pressure.
And now the perfect finish, which is another abrasive material. It's a fine material, really super fine material, and the only purpose of this product is to create gloss without creating holograms. So the perfect gloss.
Let's make a second step, and then we will increase the speed and we will reduce the pressure. Okay, let's check.
Now we have a special professional tip as well.
Oh, yes, especially on a soft paint. This is a hard paint. And you know, when it gets warm, when it gets dry, In this case, it's still a bit oily, so you can work out the polish. But on a soft paint, on a soft paint, where you have the situation that the soft paint absorbs the emulsion and it gets dry quickly, there we have a very helpful trick for you. Paint Prepare. Paint Prepare is actually our finish control spray, and with the finish control spray we check the result after we polish the car. So to remove all the residues of oils, of anything what can be in the pores of the paint, to check the final result. We use the Paint Prepare also to cleaning pads, to removing oily stains from the interior, but we use it also as a reactivator for the emulsion.
Yeah, it resaturates the emulsion, which has lost liquid, petrol and oils. They are gone, so we replace it by new material, and this helps us that the abrasive material breaks down even further.
And when you use this prolongs the working process, and it's also much easier to wipe off the residues from a sticky paint. I'll just show you how it works. Paint Prepare, you just spray a little bit to the pad, like this, and then you can continue to work. It reactivates and it runs smoother, you have less friction. This makes fun to work. But even on a hard paint, you can use this combination to work out the material, to get the maximum gloss out from the compound. Yeah, this is, you feel already, it runs so much smoother. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's check the final result. Also very important, we had one microfiber cloth for the first step with the cutting compound. Don't mix up, always use a fresh one for the second step, because otherwise you could have residues from the cutting compound and this can cause fine scratches. And the wipe off is so easy here. Look, oh yeah. Okay, let me guess. 87, 88? Oh,
88.
88.
And the Haze of 12.
Yeah, wow. We reduced the double.
11.
11.
11.
That's a great result.
So
just
88.
Maybe we can then come a bit closer with the camera later on and see the result.
We have polished 2 steps, and very important at the end is the finish control. And the finish control is done with the Prepare.
So yeah, right. The Prepare is a solvent, right? Light solvent, which removes any kind of residues on the paint, any kind of fillers, waxes, oils, fat, grease, everything what can cover up the scratches.
Yeah, some people do it with isopropanol or mixes with alcohol and water, but this might attack paint, so there is some danger of doing it. The Prepare is very mild, a very mild solvent, works on any paint.
Right.
Use this product in combination with a specific light source, which is a hologram lamp. This is an important tool you need to have. You need to have to control it, check your result.
And this proves now that we don't hide anything. So this is the real result. So there's no scratch hidden by silicons or fillers or residues. This is the real result. So you see here a clear picture. And yeah.
All right, let's sum up what you have learned. Polish is something which flattens a surface. All right. Ingredients are alumina, aluminum oxides, material polishing powder which breaks down. Gloss is optical appearance of a surface, the amount of reflected light, and hands-on, Christian showed you a 2-step polishing process.
Right.
Right.
2-step polishing process by a rotary, and what we can see here, we had a huge increase of gloss and a huge reducement of haze in the two-step system.
Yeah, and the first step was using abrasive polish, and the second step was using a finishing polish. And the possible products you can use for that, our range is standing here.
Right.
Is standing here. That's our range of professional Profiline polishes. We have the performance line, special recipes for specific requirements, especially in paint shops and in application where time is an issue, and a traditional classic series for rotary, for DA, and for hand application.
Right. Yeah, we start here by the Ultimate Cut. Ultimate Cut is the most aggressive compound in the range. We have here also the performance scale in front of the label. As you can see here, 6 is the highest level of cut, and 6 also the highest level of gloss. So 6.6 would be the ultimate solution, but almost impossible. You cannot have the best cutting compound and the best finish in one. But with some products we are very close.
And that's the product we used for the finishing, the perfect finish with a 4.6, a 14 cut. This means medium cut and maximum gloss.
Right.
And then we have the SP. The SP is a classic detailing product for heavily scratched cars. It's more or less something when you want to remove a lot amount of paint because the car is really dull. A red car, for example, where you need to remove a lot of material, that's the product for.
It's a classic recipe, and you can feel it's very heavy. It's rich on abrasive material.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
And it's also quite good for gel coat, for old paints. Yeah, for single stage paints, right? Where you have to remove the top layer, the depth layer of paint. So then on top, finish compound, nano polish.
Nano polish NP. It's the brother of the perfect finish. It's more suitable for soft paint and sticky paint.
Yeah, nano polish 3.6, so medium cut and high gloss. So as you can see here, 6 in cut, so maximum cut level, but a low gloss. Here, a medium cut 3, but the highest gloss level. So this combination, like this, cutting, finishing, gives you a perfect result.
And for those guys who want to use a rotary, we have this combination. These are recipes, DA, for DA. Those polishes are formulated especially for the dual action machines. EXCUT, the cutting compound, and the EX, the finishing compound.
And here, as you can see, 5.5. So we are very close to a almost perfect one-step product. 5 in cut, so you can remove scratches from a P1500, 500, right?
Yes.
And also high gloss. So I would say on bright colors, on white, on silver cars, you can use it as a one-step compound. And on a black car, of course, where you have very sensitive reflections, then you have to make a second step. Yeah, all of those are silicon-free, no fillers, and LD based. There's one exception, one step.
OS means one step, and that's a very versatile polish for any kind of car where the polishing has to be fast. You have no time for doing it like in workshops, and if the car is just slightly scratched, this is the product for.
Yeah, new cars, for express detailing, for those customers that don't want to spend a lot of money for a perfect detailing, just for getting more gloss and removing some scratches. And the OS is the only one in the range which contains some wax and silicons. So it's a one step with a basic protection, and you can use it by hand, by rotary, or by the DA.
Yeah, and you're exactly at the point where we have to finish, and there are possible applications. You can do it with different or several machines, and you can do it also by hand. And in the next video, we will show you the differences, which result you get with this type of application and with that and the other.
So don't miss it.
Keep posted.